If you've ever looked at a woman and thought to yourself, well, let me just say this. If you've ever looked at a woman who has multiple streams of income and thought to yourself, how in the world is she doing all of that? My girl, my sis, my queen, this video is for you. Because most people think multiple streams of income comes from doing more, working longer, or having more time. And that is just simply not true. The women that I've seen generate more income and they've been successful at it don't necessarily have more time. They just have different habits. And once you see these habits, you can start implementing them immediately. Hey, hey, hey. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. But if you're new here, my name is Akila B. I am a tech engineer by day and a income strategist by heart. And I'm doing something called Getting the Soreness Out. So this is a series that I'm doing where I'm just showing up on video as my full self just to see if I can push out 100 YouTube videos and get better at doing this long form content. So whatever it is, this is just a reminder that whatever it is that you want to do, you have to start before you're ready. You have to start in order to be great, because most of the time we just don't want to start because we don't want to look like amateurs. So I'm here just letting you know that it's okay and that we're going to get better as we go. All right? All right. It's time to clock in. So I'm not sure if you know, but one thing about me, I don't teach from theory. I teach from experience. I'm a full-time engineer. I'm a mom. I'm a coach. I'm a wife. Like, I wear many hats. And I've had to figure out how to create income in a way that actually fits my life. And this all started about 10 years ago when I was laid off and I found out 3 months later that I was pregnant with our second child. And plus also, I've also worked with women who are leaders, who are professionals, who are managers, who are high performers. And the pattern, well, let's just say they're pretty similar. I won't say they are all the same, but they're pretty similar. The difference isn't intelligence. Like, we know you got brain power. But the difference from the women that make it, quote unquote, and the women that don't is the way they think, the way they move, and how they structure their time. Before I give you all of the 7 habits, let me just give you one that you can apply immediately. Like right now. You don't even need a sheet of paper. Aren't you happy? But on this side of the internet, we don't fake work. I'm not sure if you are new here, but just in case you are, we don't fake work. We implement immediately. We execute immediately. Gone are the days where we say knowledge is power. Over here, we say applied knowledge is power, because we have so many ideas. We're so creative. But if we don't put the pedal to the metal to execute these things, they're just dreams. They're just dreams. So let's stop asking ourselves, how can we make more money? And let's ask, what can I build once that can pay me repeatedly? And this question will not only, how can I say this? This question will not only shift how you think, but also how you move. Because we think a thought that creates an emotion, which in then returns an action that we do take, an action that we don't take, good, bad, or indifferent. And honestly, this is exactly why I created my 4 hours to 4K plan sheet, because it will actually tell you how you can create more income without overwhelming your schedule. I'll link it below if you want to check it out. Now, let's get into these habits. The first habit successful women who have multiple streams of income do is they protect their time. And it's not just time, but it's their creative time. They just don't work, create. Even if it's only 30 minutes, because I know where some of you guys' brains went. Well, I don't have 4 hours. Okay, do you have 30 minutes? Even if it's only once or twice a week, because when I tell you, when you start to build the muscle, That's when it gets easier. Some of us want to start after we've tried it 2, 3, 4 times because it's not getting easy. Well, you haven't did it enough to get the soreness out. And let's also be clear, income doesn't come from consumption. It comes from creation and execution, creation and implementation. And I have to say it that way because we will consume, and I may be speaking to myself. I don't know. It may just be me. But we will consume, we will see, okay, let's do this. Let's do this. Okay, they're telling us to do this. Okay, let me research and let's do this. And then we'll chat GPT the heck out of the thing. Like we'll talk to it day in and day out. Give me this idea. Oh, let's tweak this. Oh, let run this by me. Oh, let's tweak this. And we will sit there and do that and do that and do that. Then, okay, we will go into Canva and we will create. We will refine and refine some more. But when are we putting it out? When are we executing? When are we implementing? We have to make sure that we are protecting our time and not doing things that's just busy work so that it feels like we're doing something. Always think, what is the end goal? Because we will spend so much time in the creative process and we'll never put it out. So it's not about just protecting your creative time. Protect it in a way that you give yourself just enough time to create. Because when I tell you, even filming this video, if I block out 3 hours to film this video, let me tell you, I will take up the entire 3 hours to film this video. But if I put on my calendar, I have 1 hour to knock it out, then I won't be so immune or so ready to do a retake and another retake and another retake. No, I don't have 3 hours. I have one. And during that one time, I'm going to have my creative process happening, but I'm going to do it in efficient amount of time so that I can move on to the next thing because this video needs to go out by a certain date. You feel me? Okay. Habit number 2. They document what they know. I call this thinking time because sometimes we just don't like to sit down and think. When I was coming up with, I was in my coaching certification, and I remember there was a part in the before the graduation process where we had to come up with our own methodology. Like, how do we get someone to have a transformation? Like, what's the process? A, B, C, D. And it's not like very long and tedious. Like you need either like a 3-step process, a 5-step process, maybe a 7, but we're not going to have like a 15-step process, right? But just sitting down and thinking, how? Well, how have I? How did I get that one client to go from here to here and see a transformation? And if you haven't had a client before, how did I get myself? How did I have this transformation? How did I get from point A to point D? What did I do? And that's when I came up with my process because every time I accomplished something or completed something, I had to ask myself, well, how did I get it done? Well, first I had to decide. This was my 3D method come in. And my within inside of my dual income design. It's my 3-step phase. I first had to decide that, hey, I'm either going to do it or I had to decide X, Y, and Z. So my first step is decide. Next is design, because then this is where the creative process come in. I had to design what it is that I want to put out. This is where the goals come in. This is where the plan comes in. This is where the strategy comes in. This is where the process, right? And then thirdly is the diligence. Now, this is the movement. This is the execution. This is the implementation. Because if you do 1 and 2, okay, you cute. But have you really did the thing to move the needle, which is execute on it? And what does that mean? Promoting it, putting yourself out there, telling someone, being visible. You can have all the ideas in the world, all the income ideas in the world, and I know you have them sitting there, probably in your drafts where you haven't pressed post on the reel that could potentially bring you money. You understand what I'm saying? So take the time to do habit 2 and do some thinking. Document. How did I get there? How did I overcome this? When I did this experience, what did I have to do to get across? And if you haven't gotten on the other side of it, then that's not the thing that you're teaching right now. That's something you can teach, later on and help someone with later on once you've had your transformation. Make sense? You're picking up what I'm putting down? And number 3 is having intellectual property, right? Building your own IP. Long are the days where we're operating inside someone else's ecosystem. This is what building a brand is all about. And if you're not there yet, just ask yourself, what is one thing that I can create that I can put my name on it and say I produced to put it out there? So the successful women that you see making multiple streams of income, they've built these things that do not require them to be physically present, because that too is not scalable, right? It's not scalable. If you have to be there in order to get the thing done, then we need to rethink. And this can go from anyone. So let's just say you are a nurse practitioner, right? And yes, you see clients. But within your client system, you also have noticed that some are coming in there for the same exact thing, the same exact reason, something that's coming up a lot. And this is what I do in my engineering. So if I have like a backup failure or something, and I'm sorry if I'm getting too technical, but if I have like a backup failure or something and it keeps happening over and over again, I'm then documenting the process to see how can I pass it on to my other team members if this issue arises. We call it knowledge base. And so if this is happening with your clients, create a guide, create a ebook, create something where it's like, okay, now I can position myself on social media as this person. And I know a lot of people are going through this because a lot of my clients come in here with the same exact issue. I can now put it out in a guide to get someone transformation. And now I have solved a problem. You understand what I'm saying? Even though you're still working your nurse practitioner job, now you have IP, intellectual property, a digital asset that someone can download while you're sleeping, and you're making money. I don't know. It's just so many ways to make money out here that you can have multiple streams of income without feeling tired, burnt out, and without leaving your 9 to 5. Okay? And that's just one way. It can be a template. It can be a planner. It can be a guide. It can be a framework. But this is the difference between leveraged income and hustle income. The 4th habit for these women who earn multiple streams of income, or that has created multiple streams of income, they think in a solution base. What's the solution? What's the end game? What's the product? What am I wanting to accomplish? They think solution based. So they're not just consuming content, they're asking, okay, what problem can I solve? Yes, it's okay to get inspiration, but not when it becomes a point where you're just obsessively consuming and not implementing on you. Because income follows problems always. Habit 5, they package their expertise. And I know you have heard the word packaged before, and you probably are like, well, what does that really mean? I got you. So basically, they just don't know things because we're brilliant, we're intelligent, we know that. But what is it just to be in your head? Like, what good is it going to do if it's just in your head? They then take it a step further and they organize what they know into a step, into a process, into a framework. So now it becomes easy for someone to follow. Okay, moving on. Habit 6. They use small windows of time because, like I said earlier in the video, some of you are like, well, I don't have 3 hours. I don't have 4 hours. Then don't. Do you have 15 minutes? Do you have 30 minutes? When I tell y'all, this timer here has been a game changer. When I come, when I come into this office, it's like, okay, I got 25 minutes. Boom. Pomodoro method. Have you ever heard of the Pomodoro method? Set that timer, do that thing. It's just like, back in school, let me turn it off. Back in school, we had time blocks of class. Once you finish English class at 11:30, you're going on to math. You're not going into the math class doing the English work. It's time to cut that off, refocus, and get on to another subject. That's how we have to operate in our life. If we're at our job, we have a 15-minute lunch break, 30-minute lunch break, whatever. You may, yes, go eat lunch, but while you're eating lunch, do you have time to do something for 15 minutes in your own life for your own business, income, strategy, whatever, to just put it out there in that increment of time? Find those pockets of time. And those pockets of time will be found in my 4 hours to 4K plan sheet, because it's first going to tell you where you are doing all your things, your 9 to 5, your church, your kids' activities, all of that. And then you're going to see, oh, I have a little white space here. Let me do some work, and just fill that in. Extra income. Oh, I have a little white space here. Oh, let's fill that in. Extra income. So now you see that you have the time to do it. And when you see that you have the time to do it, now you will go and actually put forth the effort to do it. Because what's so great about the little 15 minutes, the little power hour that you may have one day to do out of the week? Not saying I need an hour every day to complete this. I may have 15-minute pocket here, 30-minute pocket here. Oh, today I have an hour. But what is good is the snowball effect. Because now, by the end of the week, you've racked up and found an extra 4 hours, and you're looking at yourself like, I did that because you did that. Okay. Last one, habit number 7. And I kind of touched on this earlier, but they maximize leverage instead of hustle. That's a habit, meaning you can start it. They're not trying to do everything, because yes, we can do everything, but it doesn't mean that we should be doing everything. But what they're doing is doing the right thing once and figuring out how they can do that thing over and over and over and over, to the point where it's almost on autopilot. So they're letting it work for them repeatedly. And my friend, I'm going to hold your hand when I say this. This is where it becomes leveraged income instead of hustle income. Sometimes we just have to unlearn some things, because we've been taught to do this for a long amount of time. So if you're trying to figure out how to apply this actually in your life, your first step is to start with my 4 hours to 4K plan sheet. And yes, I call it a plan sheet, but it's a full guide. It comes with a walkthrough video and everything. So don't think that you're alone. No, I'm going to still hold your hand. But basically what this plan sheet does, it takes all of this out of theory and put it in a plan. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Haven't you heard that so many times? So yeah, I linked it below. So here's what I want you to understand. Lean in. Women who have multiple streams of income, that are still working a corporate job, a 9 to 5, they're a mom, they have kids, they're not superhuman. Even though they look really cute in those superhero capes, they've just trained themselves to think differently. Why? Because when you think differently, you have a different emotion, which is going to create a different action. So that's when you move differently. That's when you build differently. And once you adopt these habits, you will stop relying on one paycheck, and you will start creating multiple options for yourself. Multiple. So I hope you enjoyed this video today. Let me know in the comments which rich girl habit stood out to you the most out of these 7. I can't wait to hear from you. Now, with that being said, go out into the world today. Be great. Be elevated. Go make today awesome, so yesterday gets jealous. And make sure you subscribe, because this is what we talk about over here on this side of the internet. So I'll see you in the next episode, where we clock right back in and get a little bit more of the soreness out. Okay, I'll see you. Bye for now.